This video is for those of you who have a really messy house. And when I say messy, I mean messy. If you're someone who already has a decently clean house and you're looking for some more cleaning tips, then this video is not for you. This is a type of mess where it's stuff everywhere. There's stuff on the floor, there's stuff on the counters. The type of mess that if company comes unannounced, you will literally die with embarrassment. And that's how my house was about 2 weeks ago. And now my house is still messy, but that was the goal. It's messy, but it's reasonably messy to a level where if somebody comes unannounced to my house, I won't be super embarrassed. Maybe a little uncomfortable, but not, you know what kind of embarrassment I'm talking about. I have been wanting a clean house my whole life, never been able to achieve it. There would be periods where I could keep it clean and then it would go back to being messy all over again. But this time I wanted to do something different. What can I do differently that can actually make me successful? So I came up with a step-by-step, very easy to follow, simple plan to clean your house and keep it clean. Two main things that we're going to focus on. Number one is small changes. Anytime there's a big change, it can overwhelm you and can actually end up leading to complete turnaround and not achieving what you want to achieve. We are going to only do small changes at a time. Secondly, get rid of the fear of failure, because essentially there is no such thing. In our heads, we might think, oh, planning is linear, meaning you come up with a plan, then at the end you either achieve it or you fail. But that's actually not true. Real planning is cyclical, PDCA, which means plan, do, check, adjust. So you plan what you're going to do, you do it, and then you check, okay, what worked, what didn't work, and then you adjust the plan and you start all over again. So essentially, there is no end goal, there is no failure. You just keep trying your best, making adjustments, and keep going and making progress. So if you have a very messy house, you don't have a lot of motivation to clean it, or even sometimes you might get motivation, you get it clean, then it goes back to being messy. If you're in this situation, I have a very simple plan for you. And the first thing that you're going to do is pick 2 easy to do things that have a significant impact on your happiness. For example, the 2 things that I chose for myself, number 1 was to get the trash out of my house. I have a small kitchen, I live in an apartment, so I don't have a garage where I can just dump my garbage in. I actually have to go to the dumpster or the garbage stays in my house. So I would always have garbage, an extra garbage bag by the garbage can, a lot of recycling. I do order a lot of stuff from online, so there are a lot of boxes. So my kitchen would just be overwhelmed with a lot of trash. So one small routine that I've added to my daily schedule is to take the trash out when I come back from dropping off my kid to school. And the best thing about this approach is it's what's called habit stacking. I already have something that's a routine. I already have a habit, getting her ready, taking her to school, and then coming back. This happens every single day. So all I did was add another little task right behind it. And an object in motion stays in motion. So I'm already in motion, walking around. And so it's easier to just keep walking, pick up the trash and recycling, and take it to the dumpster. This adds like 5 extra minutes to my morning, but has a significant effect on my well-being. And the second thing that I added was doing the dishes at nighttime. Somewhere between 9 and 10, that's the time where my daughter takes a bath. So my mind starts to go back to that sort of motion mode. Every day after work, I would whip up something really quick for dinner, and all I wanted to do was eat in bed and either watch Netflix, or sometimes I went through a phase of reading a lot of fiction, and that was my life for the past, I would say, at least 3 or 4 months or more, probably more. But the last couple of months were really, really bad. But after laying around in bed for hours, there would come a time where I would need to get up, get her to take a bath, and start her sleeping routine. Again, it's kind of similar to habit stacking. It's also the same thing where an object in motion stays in motion. I would already need to get out of bed to start the bath process, so that is the time where I can do the dishes. And we're a small family. I'm a single mom and I have 2 girls, so the dishes are not like a huge thing. So the dishes would probably take me no more than 10 to 15 minutes, even if. But if you don't do them, they look disgusting in the kitchen, and it just ruins your entire kitchen experience. So these are the only 2 things that I added to my routine that I needed to do every single day, Monday to Friday. Now this is a 6-week plan. I've already done this for 2 weeks, and I've seen tremendous amount of progress in my house and my mental health. Just not having piles and piles of boxes and garbage in the house feels good. And although the sink is not fully clear of dishes, because if we end up eating a little snack after I do the dishes, I don't necessarily clean that, because the rule here is not to go to sleep with a clean sink. It's just to develop that habit that between 9 and 10, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna clean the dishes. So the focus is on creating that routine that is easy to do, but has a significant impact on your daily life. So I've been doing this for 2 weeks, and then the second step is to expand these small tasks to a little bit of a bigger scale, but just a tiny amount. Because the way we want to do this is not to overwhelm ourselves, because you might already feel overwhelmed. So the next step was to expand. So what I did was, when I would do the dishes, I expanded that time to a daily half-hour cleaning. Again, body in motion stays in motion. I'm already up doing the dishes. It's easier to then add additional time to it to continue cleaning, versus if I did the dishes, went back to my bed, and then tried to get up again. That's way harder. So this week, and I think a little bit of last week as well, I have been working on this habit of daily half-an-hour cleaning. And that has really gotten the ball rolling, and now I'm starting to see even more progress in the cleanliness of my house. Again, I'm going to keep on saying this over and over again. We're not going to do drastic changes. Slowly, little by little, it's a 6-week plan. Little by little, slowly and slowly, we're going to get the house in order, and we're going to build those sustainable routines. So my main very hard focus routines have been, number 1, taking the trash out every morning, and number 2, cleaning for half an hour daily in the evening. Now, there are other things that you can do. There are more softer goals, which means even if you don't do them, it's okay, but it's also okay to try to do them. Now what I try to do is try to get the dishes done throughout the day. I might do some during lunchtime. I do work from home, so that's really helpful. So during lunchtime when I'm making lunch, I've started to also do the dishes a little bit. So if I can get the dishes done before that half an hour cleaning time, that gives me more time to clean around the house. But it's not a requirement. It's a soft goal, not a routine that I'm trying to develop. It's just something to help me a little bit, like nudge me along, just push me a little bit to help me get my house in order a little bit more. And this is all you're going to do as far as cleaning routines for the next 6 weeks. And this is what I'm calling phase 1. Phase 1 is just about getting your house in such a state where it's presentable enough that you can have somebody come over and you're still okay. Because sometimes you might actually want to invite somebody over, but you're hesitating because that means it's going to require you to clean the house and you don't want to. So you always want your house in a way that it's presentable enough that if you want to invite someone, you can go ahead and do it. Some of the other softer sort of changes that I'm creating is Saturday morning, I try to clean for an hour. Now, this is not necessarily like a routine that I'm trying to build definitely into my entire system. It's a softer change, which means I could change it around if I need to, but it is helpful. And I don't necessarily want it to be a permanent thing, but it is something I want to focus on just a little bit. So Saturdays, every Saturday morning is just kind of like building into my head that I need to clean. And I usually clean a little bit of the bathroom and I clean the kitchen. And then after I'm done cleaning, I sit down. I either get a book and read and drink coffee and have like a small little breakfast. And that's like my treat for cleaning the kitchen. And it's also kind of a necessity because I eat a lot on Fridays and I need that sort of movement in my body to digest that food the next morning. Even though I ate it the night before, it's still sitting there. Besides routines, another thing that I think is important is that if there's any sort of very overwhelming room in your house, fix it in a very sort of fast, quick way. So I had this room in my house. This was my office. It's like a playroom, like has all my kids' toys in it. It's also her room in a way, like her clothes are in there, and I work in there every single day, and it was so overwhelming. So I gave myself half an hour on a Sunday, and I was like, I'm just gonna clean this as quickly as I can. I took all the toys that she doesn't really normally play with. I threw them all into bags, and I was like, you know what? Let me just put them into bags and put them under the table, and that will help me feel a little bit better about this room. Now, I did that, but then I just didn't feel good. It didn't give me a sense of achievement because I knew the stuff was still there and the room didn't look pretty. One of the biggest motivating factors for me is the visual beauty. And after like cleaning up and putting all those toys in the bag, the room didn't really look prettier. So I did allow myself to spend more than half an hour, and what I ended up doing was taking the bags out of that room and putting it into a different room that I don't really use that often. Now, if you have a garage, you can put that stuff in your garage or an attic. So you're not going to overwhelm your brain by doing the whole decluttering process where you're like, do I donate this? Do I throw it out? Do I keep it? When you're in a very like burned out, sort of overwhelmed place, making those decisions is just gonna add more to your overwhelm. So I would just advise, these toys she doesn't really play with, put them in the bags and get them out. And if your child gets upset, where is my toy? I really want it. The chances of that being is very low, but if it does happen, you do have those toys in the house. You do not donate them. So after I put those in the other room, I felt so good. I have been working in that clean room for days and it feels good. It feels really, really good. I feel proud of myself. My daughter uses that room my other daughter also uses that room on the weekend. I'm like, you won't believe when you go in that room. It's gonna be a surprise. Now this was just one room, and I know that if I were to do this to the whole house, it would be too much for me. So that's why the other areas of the home, there's a bunch of stuff in the living room. I just leave it alone. I know it's not time to get that cleared out yet. Take it slow. So if you have an overwhelming room in your house, definitely get it in order, but limit your time. Don't spend all day cleaning it and ruining your weekend. Spend like half an hour to an hour to get it into a little bit of a better state for your better state of mind. Any sort of organization, cleaning projects during this time period, I'm putting a cap on myself that I cannot spend more than 2 hours on it on the weekend, or basically in total for a week. Unless it's already in my half an hour cleaning time, then that's fine. But no more than 2 hours per week dedicated to organization, decluttering, none of that stuff. We don't want this to take over our lives. And you might actually not have even the energy to allow it to take over. Last thing, and maybe it should have been the first thing, is taking care of yourself while you're doing this. If you are dedicating time to cleaning, then you can also dedicate some time for self-care, and whatever that means for you. For me, things that I have been doing are what makes me feel creative. Like, what are some creative things that give me energy? There are things that you will do that deplete your energy, they suck the energy out of you, but there are actually things that if you do them, they will actually generate energy in you. For me, I have been doing like makeup videos for a makeup hobby channel, and I've been doing them in the morning. Like, it's been so much fun for me to create a new channel and do makeup videos on it that I've been waking up early just to do them. And I'm starting off my day doing something creative, and that has been energizing for me. Second thing that I've been doing, which I thought I would never do, is cold showers. So far I've only done it twice because I only do it on the weekend. I am not going through that during the weekdays. So on the weekend, either Saturday, Sunday, whenever, I start off with a hot shower, slowly and slowly lower the temperature until I get to a temperature that makes me just go blah. The first time that I did this, after I was done, I was hysterically laughing. It was like, it just allowed me to release something out of my body. And I do breathe a lot too while I do this. I take a lot of like deep and like short breaths in and breathe out. So I think that is also helpful to me. It's not just a cold shower. So I start with a hot shower, I get to the cold, and then I go back to like a warm shower, and then I end my shower routine. I do want to also add taking a bath and reading a book, but again, any new stuff is gonna get overwhelming. So I haven't done the bath thing yet. I'm allowing myself to do it when I'm ready. I have it in my head that eventually I want to do it, but I'm not like putting my foot down and being like, yes, you're definitely taking a bath every single weekend because you need to relax. I'm already doing these two things. The third thing can wait a little bit more. All right, so I'm going to continue doing this. So I'm going to continue cleaning my house for half an hour every day, continue taking out the trash, no more than 2 hours of any sort of decluttering organization projects. If I can, continue doing the Saturday morning cleaning time. It's a soft sort of goal, soft change. It's okay. And I'm going to be continuously updating you guys on my progress and showing you videos of my house, how things are changing. And then 6 weeks later, which for me will be around 4 weeks later actually, I will do a final progress overview video of how my experience was. And I encourage you to do something similar for yourself and follow me along. Let me know if it's starting to work for you in the comments down below. I would love for you to try it out and let me know if it works for you too. We're gonna do this together. So far, I'm seeing positive things for myself. Fingers crossed it keeps going that way and we can all create some really good, sustainable cleaning routines for ourselves and have a decently clean house. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that bell notification so you get to see all the progress that I'm making in cleaning my house, maintaining the cleanliness. And if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button. Thank you. Bye.